The deal sheets are in. The businesses finally come to a close at this summer transfer window. It's time for us to do our rankings, each team from S tier to E tier. Shall we start with alphabetical order, Jamie?
Of course.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I'll let you give your thoughts on Arsenal here, and then I'll chime in.
Okay. I think there's only a couple of clubs that we can give S tier in this. I guess we should just break down, actually. We've got S at the top just because we wanted to add an extra a tier because we think they needed more tiers, and S just felt natural to put at the top. So S is the best, and A, B, C, D, E.
I think we should also say, like, the way I'm looking at it, I don't know about you, but S would be undoubtedly improve the team and the sort of not only the first team, but the overall squad as well, like the starting squad.
Yeah, S would be literally you've massively improved the squad and cleared out.
And the first 11, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and your first 11. A would be you've had a good window, you've made improvements. You still need to do a little bit more. You get the gist as we go down.
Yeah, like there's business that you could have done that hasn't all been tidied up this window.
Exactly.
But obviously massive improvement on the team and the squad.
Yeah.
B would be solid improvement, either to the squad or first 11. And then C, roundabout equal.
You've kind of stayed the same.
Weaker,
you've not really got any better.
Yeah, but so for teams that have sold some of their stars, but also bought in a few that are decent, that will be maybe where the C tier comes in. D is just ever so slightly weaker than when you started the window, and E, of course, is your squad is much weaker, or
you've just not done anything, so it's hard to judge.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the way that I'm looking at it. I think you're the same on that one as well. So, anyways, qualification out the way, Arsenal.
Yeah, so like I said, I was saying before, I think there's only a couple of clubs you can put into the top tier. I think Arsenal probably is one of them. I mean, if we just list off the transfers they've done here, they've obviously got Zubimendi and Eze and Gyökeres, Madueke, Mosquera, Christian Nagel, and Kepa, and obviously today they've got Hincapié through the door.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's pretty much every position. They've either. I mean, obviously striker. They've got a starter in mid CDM. Zubimendi's the new starter, and then Eze will probably start left wing, and then the rest are just depth options, which they missed massively last year. So I think Arsenal S. I'm pretty sure you're going to say the same.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's put it this way: they've been waiting for a striker for ever since Arteta came in, more or less, and I think Gyökeres. Obviously not mixed bag so far, but I think certainly has quality. You've seen in the solo goal versus Leeds. So in my opinion, that striker covered. Eze goes without saying.
I think left winger as well is where Eze will play, and that's the other position they probably
thing
needed.
Is not only can he improve the left wing somewhat as well, but he can also cover for Odegaard as well. Yeah. So undoubtedly stronger in the creative sense. And then obviously midfield, Zubimendi. I know they did lose Partey, but they got Norgard in for a little bit of depth, and that's sort of more of enforcer type player. And then, like you say there, Mosquera and Hincapié in the defence, as well as a decent backup, I'd say, with Kepa. So all round, all squad improved, almost all areas of the team. Yeah. And I think you could only give them an S, really. I mean,
I agree. I think it has to be S.
I don't know what more you'd have to do.
I think it has to be S. So let's get them straight up there. So moving on to Villa. Villa's been a bit of a weird one. They did some business today, didn't they?
It was so slow that I didn't think they were going to almost do anything, and then out of nowhere,
I know.
They had a couple of decent deals today-ish. But yeah, what do you make of Gesson, Sancho, Elliott, Lindelof, and Bezo? Obviously, there's a couple more, but not really first team inclusions, I would say.
Yeah, it's a tough one here, isn't it? Because they've also obviously sold Jacob Ramsey as well, who's a big miss.
Gone. Obviously, they haven't sold Rashford and Asensio, but no longer.
They have lost them,
Yeah, they've lost them from their team.
It's going to be a tough one. To be honest, I think they have probably slightly improved in certain areas. I mean, particularly, I'm obviously slightly biased. I'm going to say Harvey Elliott's a good signing for them.
No, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Sancho, I'm not sure about. I mean, yeah, they needed a winger, that's for sure.
They've let go of Bailey and Ramsey.
I don't think Bailey's a huge miss. Ramsey is a big miss.
Ramsey's a big miss.
So obviously, I guess Elliott will be the attacking midfield replacement of Ramsey. Sancho is obviously, I think he did all right at Chelsea last season, did he? Or
yeah, no, he did okay. He scored a few decent goals. There's some quality in him. I think it's just so inconsistent. Like if it,
yeah,
some
I
of
think
his
that's it.
performances were like 8, 9s out of 10, and then you just not see him for a whole game. So
yeah,
could do well, but I don't think he's guaranteed to do well. I don't
Yeah.
even know about Elliott per se. I mean, do they play 4-3-3 or do they play like 4-2-3-1?
Well, this is what I mean. I kind of don't really know. I think they're one of those teams that kind of can change, but I'm pretty sure it's usually a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, kind of whatever you want to call that. So they do play with an attacking midfielder, and to be honest, I think Elliott will be a really good addition for them there. So I think it's hard because I don't think you can say they've improved because they've lost Rashford and Asensio. So it's a weird one. Obviously, they didn't sell them, but
was decent as well. Yeah. For me, so I'll just start with I'll put them as a C. I think they're not.
Yeah, I'm edging towards C. I think
they're not like absolutely stronger. Guessond is an unknown quantity. We'll wait to see how he does in the striker option. And then again, Elliott, I think he is quality in Elliott, as we saw on the under-21s Euros and just at Liverpool. But
he scored a couple of really good goals as well for Liverpool.
Again, but then you've got Lindelof and Bezo coming into goalkeeper and centre back. So
it's just depth, isn't it? I think C. I was thinking about edging them into B, but no, I don't think so. I think it probably is C. I don't think they've really got worse. I don't think they've got better. I think they've just kind of stayed where they're at.
Much to Emery's frustration, you could see in some of his interviews, he was quite a very
Marco Bizot.
Yeah,
Marco Bizot.
So no, C. I think C's fair.
I think so. Yeah,
not notably stronger. I think they're just around where they were, but
yeah.
No Champions League. Only obviously they're in the Europa League, aren't they?
Yeah.
Emery's special, but so they definitely need the depth. So it's good that they got a couple in, but
I agree.
Nothing window for Aston Villa, to be honest.
I agree.
Moving on to Bournemouth. I'll let you take the lead on this one. What do you make of their signings and list them off for us?
Okay, well, I'm going to start first with Bournemouth's outgoings because I think they're kind of the biggest talking point of Bournemouth's window. So obviously Zabani's gone, Huijsen's gone, Kerkez has gone, Ouattara's gone, Jadon Anthony's gone, and they're kind of the big ones. And obviously Kepa obviously is not there anymore because it was an end of loan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then they have brought in Diakite, so I guess he covers one of the centre back positions.
Yeah, solid.
And he looks like he's been all right so far. I think I don't think you can have too many complaints about him.
They've kept a couple of clean sheets already, haven't they? To be fair, Bournemouth.
Yeah, and they defended really well against Tottenham. They only let them have one shot in the whole game. So you got to say defensively they're still pretty solid. Petrovic, obviously, I think we're both in agreement. I think he's maybe a slight improvement on Kepa.
I think so. I think in his first game versus Liverpool, he had a bit of a nightmare, but I think there's you'll see there's a player in there, and
he had a nightmare.
Much to do against Spurs. 2 clean sheets from 3. It's still not bad.
No, I agree. Ben Doak as a winger, again, another Liverpool one I can comment on. Quite dynamic, quite direct, can use both feet, cuts in from the right, but he is right-footed. But he kind of cuts in from the right, can use both feet, though he's quite strong on both. So he's quite a tricky little winger, to be honest. So I'm actually quite excited to see how he gets on in the Premier League, because I think he had a really good spell in the Championship last season. I think it was with Middlesbrough. And that's why he's obviously attracted attention from Premier League clubs, and obviously 25 million. The fee alone says it can't be a player that they think is going to sit on the bench every week. He's going to play some games.
You certainly expect him to get some game time. For sure. And then just list off the rest for us, because I think they've had a few more. As well,
and then Amin Adli, so an attacking midfielder from Leverkusen.
Yeah, solid.
One that they made today that somehow they managed to make a signing in this day and age without it hitting any of the like Romano or Ornstein, and it came out of nowhere. A guy called Milosavljevic or something like that from Red Star Belgrade, centre back, 15 million euros. And then they've obviously got Truffert in and another one they made today in Alex Jimenez, who I believe is a fullback. So they have made some good signings, but obviously they lost some key signings. Well. I think, to be honest, left back they've replaced really well with Truffert.
Truffert very capable. Was it Rennes? I believe, was it? It might not be Rennes.
No, it was. Yeah, it was Stade Rennais. So yeah, Rennes. Yeah. So yeah, I think left back they've managed to get a good enough replacement in. I think centre back they obviously only got one in instead of two, solid, but he looks really good.
Better than Kepa.
Petrovic, I'd say, is an improvement. I think wingers, they've obviously added to the winger department. They've not really let anyone go. I don't think. Not anyone that was. Oh yeah, sorry. Ouattara's obviously gone, so yeah, they have lost him.
Forward type option.
I think this is another C tier for me.
I think so too. I think whenever you lose Huijsen and Zabani and Kerkez, you're doing very well to improve on that squad. But I think they've just about managed to keep it where it was or thereabouts. So a C is actually not a window for Bournemouth, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree actually.
They probably still come out with something of a
I still think they've had profit wise. I mean, let's see. So no, that's Brentford. Sorry. So they spent 138 million euros. So about 120 million pounds, and they bought in 240 million euros. So again, about 215, 210, is it?
Something like that. Healthy profit.
And they've made 100 million euro profit. So
100%.
I think actually on that basis, that actually means they've had a pretty solid window, to be honest. But I'm still leaving them in C. But I'm going to put them above Villa because I think they've had a better window than Villa.
Yeah, I'll say like a C plus, versus okay, I see that. Okay, fair point. Okay, on to Brentford. I'll start off with Brentford. They've obviously got Ouattara from Bournemouth that we mentioned. 42 million, so obviously they see quite a player in him, and he's done okay so far in the few games I've seen. Kelleher, you really rate Kelleher, don't you, from Liverpool?
To be honest, I'm surprised that some of the other clubs didn't look at him. I really do genuinely believe that as well. I think as a shot stopper, he really is class. He's not bad with his feet either. So I'm surprised none of the other clubs in the league went for him, and he was allowed to just go to.
Kelleher, do you know roughly?
He is. I want to say 25.
That's not old for a keeper.
26. So he's not old.
Still got 5-10 years at the top, probably.
I genuinely think he's a top 10 club keeper in the league. I really do believe that as well. And I could even go high. I think he gets into United's team, even though they've just bought Lamens.
Mate, he would have been a massive improvement at United, 100%.
So there are some top 6 teams he gets into.
So saying that though, so Kelleher, and he replaces Flecken, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's an improvement.
Yeah, certainly. Milambo and Coyote. I'm not going to.
Coyote's he was on loan there last season with an obligation.
Milambo, I'm not 1,000,000% sure on at the moment. I haven't seen enough of him in the league, but interesting. And then Henderson. Do you know what? Henderson could be quite a shrewd one, to be honest. I actually quite rate that.
But is he better than Norgard? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but again, he's probably somewhere. That's why I'm going to put Brentford at C. I think they've lost a couple of players there. I mean, well, more than a couple. They've obviously lost Mbumo, Visser, and Norgard. So captain and then 2 top scorers. That's why I think
worth mentioning just quickly, because I don't know if you caught this one. Reece Nelson obviously went today, literally in the last half an hour. I think it was confirmed.
Yeah, no, I saw that. So again, they've brought in some decent players in that squad, but I think to replace the players they have lost, they'd have done very, very well.
I genuinely think this is going to be a D tier for me. I think
you could only argue that
other than goalkeeper, I think they haven't improved any position. They've got worse on several positions. I think it's a D.
If you count the manager as well, it's certainly a D. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think even with the last minute ones, you got to put Brentford in.
To be honest, it's hard for me to not put them in E, but we'll see what other clubs come up later. We might have to rejig, but
yeah, sure. So moving on from Brentford, I actually got them I would have put them as a D as well. So I think we're in agreement on that. So the next one would be Burnley. So the first of the newly promoted in Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
They've done. Do you know what?
Oh, wait, have you got? Okay, yeah,
Brighton. Sorry,
I was going to say Brighton's next.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, forgive me, Brighton. In fact, we'll go for that. So they've obviously got in Costulas, De Kuiper, Watson, Capola, and Boshagli. Some decent players in there, but what kind of what I was saying to you in the pre-show was, um, they have actually had an uncharacteristically quiet incomings window, and they have sold quite a bit.
Yeah.
They've let go a number of players to Chelsea, Enciso, Buonanotte, Barco, or the group anyway. And I think they've lost, obviously, Evan Ferguson went out on loan, which is a bit of a strange one.
Outgoing share: Pedro, Adingra, Enciso, Estupinian, Valentin Barco, Tyreek Lamptey, Evan Ferguson, Buonanotte, Igor Julio.
So I mean, Igor, João Pedro, etc., etc. So they've lost quite a number of good players, especially João Pedro is looking like an incredible player at the moment. So I struggle, honestly, to put them above a D, I have to say.
I was thinking the exact same, to be honest. I think
I like Costulas. I think he looks like a great player with great potential. No doubt the scouts at Brighton have done an absolute masterclass again. And De Kuiper looks solid, a very exciting player. Watson again, good young player. But there's nothing that jumps out at me as, okay, this improves the first team certainly, and we haven't seen any of Costulas really,
other than maybe De Kuiper, because he's looked really good.
Okay, so he's coming at left back for Estupinian, fair enough. But again, I don't see them as being notably stronger.
I think they are weaker just because of who they've lost, to be honest. But
I would say so. And I don't think crazy weaker, because I think they sell well. But I'm gonna have to put them at. I don't think you could put them anything higher than a D tier. I think they are weaker.
D, but I think they've had a better window than Brentford because they've just not lost as many, and they probably have
not lost to anyone. Like if they'd have lost like Van Henke, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, João Pedro, I think is probably the only one, but
Yeah.
Cool. D tier for Brighton. Would you disagree?
No, I think D tier as well. So
cool. Moving on to Burnley. So again, as I was saying, the first of the newly promoted. I'm going to list off their players and then give a rating here. So, so Armando Broja from Chelsea, Chichuna Edwards, Marcus Edwards. I thought it was quite an interesting one. Walker for experience, quality, solid player.
Yeah.
Vice, Florentino Luis today. Something of.
Did that go through? Did it?
I believe so, yeah. So a bit of a thing from central defensive midfielder, isn't it?
It did, yeah, it did.
Of a previous one.
That's actually a really good signing, I think, for Burnley, to be honest.
Solid. And then Dubravka, I think, is a great signing, just Prem level keeper, experienced.
Yeah.
Ugo Chukwu is actually looking all right in the game so far, to be honest, from Chelsea. Yeah. Jaden Anthony looks very good at 8 million. Looks lively.
Yeah,
looks like
I agree.
And then Bashir Humphreys and Twanzebe, who I'm surprised is still kicking around, to be honest. But
I think this might be a B tier.
Funny you should say that. B for Burnley. I have gone with a B. I just think that they've improved. They've no doubt improved. Like they've given it a good fist at trying to get a Prem squad together. Don't get me wrong; it's not full of exceptional quality, but a few of them it's like littered with a few decent quality players in there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
Walker, Jaden Anthony, Dubravka, stuff like that. So and Florentino Luis.
I'm just looking at outgoings now. It's not really many outgoings.
I think Josh Brownhill, didn't they? And
Josh Brownhill was obviously a big loss. He was their top scorer as well, and Trafford. But I think they've improved quite heavily, actually. To be honest, I
would say so. I'm going to go B. I think they've improved.
And the only reason, to be honest, I'm not putting them in A is strictly because I don't think they've had like a marquee level. So I don't think Walker's is quite as good a signing as like Xhaka for Sunderland, for example. As we'll talk about later. But I think B tier.
But don't get me wrong, Jaden Anthony's performing well, but it was 8 million. I think he's overdoing what we thought. Ugo Chukwu is going to. I think he's a great player, but young again.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to go B. I think they've improved, no doubt, but it's not like you say marquee level. So
yeah, I agree. I think I'm with you on that one, to be honest.
Now we move on to Chelsea.
To your club, Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea, right. So let's just breathe through it, shall we? João Pedro.
Are you reeling them off? Yeah. Okay, I'll let you reel them off.
Esteval, I think we can all agree, is looking very, very exciting.
Do you know what? I remember us obviously before the I think it was during the Club World Cup was on. Actually, I said to you, I don't think Esteval will come in and start games, and I think he'll probably be a bit part player.
Small, like 2 week, all of this.
I'll be honest with you, he's surprised me. He really is. On the ball, he's really good at he's beating a man and just getting to the byline, or even just getting into the box. And
very, very brave for his age.
The only thing he's missing, I think, is probably a little bit of discipline when he needs it. So sometimes he's a bit too overzealous. And I think just his end product as well.
A little bit of strength, or just like clever winning a foul type, Jack Grealish type, just getting your body in the way, which I think is important in the Prem. But nonetheless, quality is there. I think he, for 29.5 million, looks exceptional.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we've got Jamie Gittins, good young player. I think he improved. I think he somewhat improves on Sancho. Obviously young, so give him a bit of time. But and then
I'll be honest, I've not seen enough of him to really judge him. But
I think he's 19.
To be honest, I think it's just Dortmund wingers that are English now that Sancho's been here. I just don't trust them. I think that's literally what it is.
No, I understand that. So, I mean, again, I don't think he's going to improve the first team straight away, but I think that's what we got there. Garnacho, therefore, obviously Estevao switches over. Pedro.
I think Garnacho is a really good signing.
Garnacho for 40 million, I tell you, like
I think his ceiling is so high. I really do.
100%.
I think if you can sort the guy's attitude out and get him just to be less of the idiot that he was at United, I think you've got a real player there, especially for the price. I really do.
100%.
I mean, all you have to do is look at his overhead kick that he scored. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think he was like 19 at the time. Pushkas winner at 19.
Honest to God,
there's something there. So I think that's a shrewd signing. Hoping, for example, Enzo being an Argentinian, a teammate can drag some discipline out of him.
Yeah, maybe. And I think Maresca is obviously Argentinian as well.
No, I think he's Italian.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fact check this.
I'm sure he's Italian.
Oh no, you are right. I'm sure he must be half Argentinian at least. I really thought he was Argentinian, you know.
Nah, he's Italian all day. But yeah, so I mean, that's about half the list. Then we've got Jorel Harto, class player.
Good, very good young player. Again, he can cover a couple of positions, centre back, left back. So good signing.
Yeah, great cover, great potential, really high ceiling.
Yeah,
just great all rounder. Delap, 30 million, probably the best striker bargain, let's say, of the summer. Not the best striker of the summer, but
bargain wise, I suppose you could say that. Yeah.
And then Esugo, Buonanotte, Paez, and Sarr. So a few younger players to cover some positions. But yeah, I think overall we've massively recompositioned the squad, made some great sales, the best record sales of all time, really, for any club. Nearly 300 million. And then obviously spent somewhere similar just underneath, but again, I think undoubtedly improved the overall first team, and then especially forward lines, and then a little bit of depth in other areas. So
I think for me that. Go say what you was going to say.
I was going to say my overall rating, just before I let you move on, I'll give him an A. I think it's definitely improved. The sales especially as well, getting rid of all that deadwood which was just hanging over us. There's only Sterling, and I think
I'll be honest, for me Chelsea's window is just so hard to judge because there's just so many factors. Thinking it from a selling point, I mean, ridiculous. 330 million euros you've made from sales is just unbelievable. Particularly when you think about the Jackson, what is it, £40 million loan fee, £56 million obligated fee at the end of the loan, something like that. So that's an insane deal. Madueke, 50 million to Arsenal was incredible. Crazy. So I think with yours, you do have to highly factor in the sales. And I was saying to you at the start of the window, kind of just before it started, that your biggest goal of this window is to clear all of your deadwood out. That was your biggest problem. You had so much deadwood that you had to clear out. And genuinely, other than I think Sterling
and Disasi,
who actually you might even use at some point in the season because of your problems at centre back. You've cleared every single one of them out, so you've got 330 million from that.
I think list off the outgoings. Like we've got Madueke, Felix, Nkunku, Dewsbury Hall, Petrovic, Kepa, Ugochukwu,
Vega, Jackson.
Jackson. There's so many.
There's a lot there.
It would take us long. It takes so long to go through the amount of sales we've made. Like it's actually mental.
I think this is tough because I really want to put you an S, but the only reason I can't is just because I still see a huge gap in centre back and goalkeeper.
I think if we'd have mainly got one of those two positions covered, let's say we'd have signed Donnarumma or we'd have signed Guehi, one of those two, let's say, I think it would have been an S tier.
I agree, yeah. But it feels harsh because you've had such a good window in terms of sales. And even in terms of incomings, but I just think you needed like one extra position at least of those two to make it.
The more I think about it, to be fair, I am almost pushed for an S tier just purely because
I am thinking about it.
Just like, again, people don't make those sales to clear that amount of deadwood for the fees that we've managed to get. In one week, some of the fees.
I think we might have to make an exception here because I think for me, in S tier for me, it was a case of you got everything you needed to get done in terms of positions in the window to make you an S tier. I think Chelsea haven't necessarily done it, but they're kind of it's offset because they've had such a good window in terms of sales. And like for Arsenal, we didn't even factor in they've made no sales, whereas Chelsea have made basically all of their money back. I think they've made a profit. They've made a profit of 4 million.
We had to for UEFA, but the fact that we've managed to get 7, 6, 7, 8 quality players as well is pretty crazy. And again, like just the signings of like Esteban and Garnacho, 29.5 million, 40 million for players like that. And to be fair, Harto and Delap, again, we got them on good fees. So it just shows that we're just like business. I know it's not always about business, but when you think about it from that perspective, Chelsea.
No, but sales are such a big part of your window, so you have to factor that in.
I mean, I think if you look at people like United and Arsenal, they would kill for our ability to sell. Like
United, especially, both of them, especially. Yeah, Arsenal have been abysmal the whole window.
They haven't even made a half of what we've made between the two clubs. So again, people might say, "Oh, well, it's because we have so many players to sell," but at the end of the day, the fees I think we've been able to get and some of the other factors as well. Not even mentioning that some deals fell through, like Disasi and George, they fell through. And I don't think Jackson, the fee next year's obligation would come into the overall sale either.
No, it doesn't. I was just saying only the loan fee is counted towards. So they've actually technically made probably £50 million profit from this window. It really is.
Yeah. Oh man, and then if you'd have had a George and Disasi for like what 20 and another 25, so it could have been close to 400 million. But obviously it's not. Yeah. But that was sort of where we're looking at.
You could potentially say this might be one of the best windows in terms of selling of all time. Genuinely,
it is the best window for sales of all time.
I think so. Yeah. I can't think of any that are better, but I'm sure there have been some that are really
player
good.
Sales, like I think you could say Coutinho was
like Usman
Dembele for your team, especially the amount of money you managed to get. But I think just for the clear number, the guys that work on Chelsea's business must be knackered after this transfer window.
Yeah, they must have so many people working on it.
Oh mate. So I think for that basis, I'm actually gonna put I'd argue probably an S tier.
I think S just because we need to factor in sales. Again, Arsenal have only sold I think 10 million, and you've sold
literally. I mean 10 million euros,
30 times that, 40 times that almost. So it's like it has to be an S just on that. But I think obviously the main purpose of a transfer window I would say is incoming. So I would probably still put Arsenal's incomings ahead of Chelsea's. So I'll keep them higher in terms of the S tier list. But I think Chelsea are probably an S tier for me as well.
Agreed.
So let's move on to Crystal Palace.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
So I'll list off their. Well, we'll talk about the big thing first, which is obviously Eze's gone to Arsenal for a fee close to, I think it's about £65 million, isn't it? Something like that. So obviously that's a big loss. They've obviously brought in Yeremy Pino, as I believe would be his replacement. To be honest, watching him against Villa the other day, he looked like he had something. So I'll be excited to see kind of where or how he gets on in the league. But initial thoughts of him, he looks like a decent player. Probably not going to be as good as Eze, obviously, but
but then again, Eze's getting a bit older as well. You just got to cycle in, haven't you, and replace. So
yeah, exactly.
Besides that, who they bought him?
And then they got in a young centre back called Canvo. So I think he's just kind of a backup option, someone they want to develop. And I guess he'll be the eventual replacement to Gahey, who we'll talk about a bit later on. Backup left back, Borna Sosa, Walter Benitez as a goalkeeper. And then very late in the deadline, they sealed the signing of, I think his name's Cristante Uche or something like that. A bit an attacking midfielder, basically. So I think overall, you'd probably imagine if Gahey left, how this would be an E tier window for sure. But I think they've saved it slightly by keeping Gahey in the end, and you'd probably have to give him a D. But they've definitely got worse, in my opinion.
I think just Eze going out is very hard to replace. I'll probably give him a D. I mean, if some of the signings they bought in come good,
you just said you'd probably give him the D. Don't think I didn't catch that. Do you reckon better or worse than Brentford and Brentford?
I think they're probably just.
I think they're below
those two. I would say. I think Brentford.
Well, actually, Brentford lost more players.
Keeping Gahey, I think they looks solid there. And again, some of those players they bought in for the attacking sort of side of their squad could come good. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I'd go D. Probably weaker.
The only thing I'm thinking of here, just quickly, do we factor into this that Brentford have made a £60 million profit in terms of sales?
No, I don't think so.
Because we did just do that with Chelsea in terms of sales, so I feel like we do have to.
Because Chelsea have got in a record number for sales, and they've cleared. And our biggest priority this window was clearing that. Brentford,
£55 million for a Wisser though. 1 year left on his deal, 29 years of age. That's a mad deal.
Good, Chelsea have also bought in a lot of players to make their first team stronger as well. I don't think Brentford have done that, to be fair.
No, but I'm only arguing it in case of, does that mean they've had a better window than Palace or not? Not as to bump them up. I think that may just nudge them ahead of Palace for me. The fact that they managed to sell Visser for that much, especially, to be honest.
You could. Oh, it's a hard one.
I think because you're torn and I'm quite certain on it, I think we'd just bump this up.
Fair enough. I think you could argue it. I think, to be fair though, again, I think some of if Pina and Uche do well, they've only lost Eze. They've only lost one player. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
That's what I mean. It is a hard one. I think I'll let you have.
Let's put it back. I think put it back in the middle. I'm torn as well. So, anyway,
I think we can agree they're both sort of weaker though at this point.
Yeah, they're both weaker. Let's move on to Everton.
Okay, I'll start us off with Everton because I'm actually quite excited about Everton. Put them. I
think we both know where these are going, to be honest. But give me your reasons.
Oh yeah. I think.
Well, let's list off their sales first. I'll let you do that.
Sales.
Sorry, their incomings.
Signings. Yeah, sure. So obviously we all know Grealish on loan. I think they're only covering I don't think they're even covering all of the wages, to be fair. I think they got a fair deal on that.
Yeah, I think it might even be 50%,
Yeah, because I think he's on something mad like 300k a week. So
I think it is 50% if I remember right.
So that's not bad in itself. Okay. And then so Grealish there, Dibbling, Southampton, I think 40 odd million. Tierno Barry, he's actually, what? I didn't realize this. I think he's the French under-21 striker. He actually plays for the French under-21s, Tierno Barry. And he looked good, like tall for his frame.
No, he played in the first team the other day.
Yeah, well, yeah, that he might have got recent game time there, but again, I think he reminds me a little bit of Voltemada in that he's very tall but very good with his feet and still fairly agile and like good at dribbling.
Yeah.
So I think he's a good sign. I think it's a bit different to Beto, even though similar height profile.
Yeah.
So rate that. Dewsbury Hall, great signing. I think looking very good.
Yeah, he's looked particularly good. I think in that team, him and Grealish look like they've got a real good connection going on.
100%. And then just a few sort of more, let's say, depth options in Alcaraz, Roll, Asnu, and Travers. So overall, definitely stronger. I'm going towards B tier for Everton, I'll be honest. I think they've
I was thinking A tier.
Was you?
I was thinking, because of Dibbling, Barry, Dewsbury Hall, Roll, Grealish. No one really. I mean, not sold anyone, but obviously Neil Maupay's gone for 4 million. Calvert-Lewin went on a free. Begovic went on a free. Ashley Young went on a free. Decore left on a free.
To be fair, so they have a lot of those older deadwood players and bought in some good options quality wise and a few younger players. To be fair, you might give that an A.
I want to give it an A just because of Grealish and the start it's had and Dewsbury Hall, to be honest.
Looks unbelievable.
I think this one's an easier one to give to A because you've kind of seen the signings already working. So you've got a bit of evidence that actually they've made the right signings and they've actually, obviously there was doubts over Grealish, but it looks like he's actually found a bit of form and he's got his freedom back there. So I think I'm only saying A for those reasons.
To be fair, I agree. I think that might be an A.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can just about agree on that. And of course, I think, like you say, it's a bit easier with Everton because they've performed quite well.
They've had a really good start to the season, undoubtedly.
Moving on, it'll be coming on to Fulham. To be fair, this one won't be too long. They did do a bit on deadline.
Bit of a weird one, this one.
From AC and Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk.
Kevin, Lecomte, and Chukwueze is basically the only notable signings they've made. But I just want to talk about their outgoings real quick before you carry on. I'm cutting you off here. They've let Andres Pereira go, so he was obviously an attacking midfielder. Something like that, which I don't know if is a lot for him, to be honest. They've sold someone called Godo to Strasbourg. But they've also let Carlos Vinicius go, and Willian left on a I think his contract was ended, and Reece Nelson was there last season and he's not this season. So we've not seen Kevin play. We don't know what it's going to be like, so it's kind of hard to judge on that.
Ukrainian league with Shakhtar, you just don't know as well, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I remember famously Bernard, who went to Villa. Can you remember him?
Yeah,
and he was Shakhtar. And he was one of them that everyone thought was going to be really good. Didn't turn out as good. Mudrik's another really good example. But Chukwueze as well, I'm not 100% sure on. I remember him from his Villarreal days, and I know he did quite well there. I don't know if it's quite worked from it.
I would suppose it hasn't worked out in Milan. Otherwise,
and that's why it's at Fulham. Yeah, exactly. I'm tempted to put this one. I don't think they've necessarily got worse, but I don't think they've got better.
For me, it's a C tier, a low C tier.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was, to be honest, before this video started, I was adamant I was going to put them in E. In my head, it was like, Fulham have been awful. I'm going to put them in E.
Yeah, I think but now we talk about it. When you go through the sales, they haven't really weakened in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Again, they've just not bought in any recognizable quality. I think they're like foreign league players who maybe have a little bit more in reputation than actual kind of like backup track record. So I think you can put them pretty comfortably in a C, I would say. Again, maybe to be changed maybe in a few weeks time. Kevin lights the place up and whatever, but
I do have a weird feeling that he might, but it's one of them. It remains to be seen.
But again, I think we go C there. And I think that puts us in a good spot. So other than that, it's on to Leeds. Obviously,
we all like Leeds to go.
I'll let you read through their players very quickly.
Yeah, they've made a few. Someone called Stack from Hoffenheim. Okafor from AC Milan, if I remember right. He's actually a decent player. Bijol from Udinese, Perry from Lyon, Longstaff, who I like, Goodmanson from Lille, James Justin, I think, is a good signing. Someone called Bornau from Wolfsburg, and then obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Nemecha as well, and a few others. Sorry, there isn't a few others. There's just end of loans there that I'm seeing. Look, I don't think they've done as much as Burnley and Sunderland have. Potentially about the same as Burnley, actually, to be honest. I don't think either of them have kind of lit us alike. But they've both done, I think, enough business to say they've definitely improved from the Championship.
They've made an attempt to bring in some quality to bolster their squad. I think every newly promoted team has to do that now to have any chance.
Yeah, I agree.
I think for that reason, you'd be fair to give them a B, to be honest.
Yeah, but I'm also just quickly looking at their outgoings. It doesn't look like they've really lost anyone of note. I don't know how much any of these played in the Championship. I'm not going to pretend like I watched much of that last season. But I would say they've improved. I don't know if they've significantly improved, and they've definitely not S tier, because that would be signing Messi on a free or someone like that if you're a Leeds level team.
Exactly. So putting them in B.
Yeah, I think B. I can't decide whether they're above Burnley or not. I think they've both had a very similar level window, to be honest with you. I will introduce this one because this is my club. You may have noticed a short jolt in the video there. Luke did have to go and kill a spider for his other half. So he is back now. He was only gone for a brief 10 minutes.
Pest control is part of the job role. We all know that.
Unfortunately so. But he's back in time for us to do Liverpool ranking now. And
at a good time, actually. I think Liverpool is a good place to jump in, isn't it, Jamie?
It's a very good place to jump in. Oh man, it's been do you know what? As a Liverpool fan, this might have been the best window of my life.
You know what? Genuinely, it's always funny because I mean, Liverpool are great since Fenway have come in at like just snipping deals in without you really noticing. Like Fabinho, almost no, build up or anything like that, just in and out.
It's impossible now, though, man. The way the media is and social media.
I get that, but I mean, I suppose I highlighted the point that you've obviously got great operators in your direct like transfer sort of team.
Yeah,
but you don't normally get involved in big, massive deals, like expensive deals, or spending much more. Like you normally sort of balance the books type.
It's always been since Klopp kind of came in that. The stance always remains the same. We'll pay for the player if it's the right player and it's a significant improvement in the squad. That's basically what it's always been. It's how it's always been. They obviously have the sales side of it. They always want to make sure they're recouping some money and they don't just want to spend money willy-nilly. But, I mean, this window's been, I think you said earlier, actually, it kind of feels like...
There's been a strategic shift, hasn't there?
Now that PSR is kind of under the limelight and stuff, it maybe has been seen as like this window has to be the one because it's going to change soon. But they have delivered this window. It's just a fact in both fronts, selling and incomings. We'll run through the both. I think. What we'll start with.
Sorry to pull you off your thread there. I'm just going to say a little last point on that. I think we pointed out the strategic shift, partly because you're such a good revenue club that in the current PSR model you're able to spend, whereas other teams aren't. But I think it feels, from a neutral point of view, it does feel slightly strange to see Liverpool win the league and then still strengthen heavily. Normally,
I know because
you don't normally double down like that. It seems like we've won the league. We've got a good squad already. But that's what makes it quite scary. You finally put the foot to the floor a little bit, which is an interesting shift.
It's almost like it's like Slot won the league and they thought, you know what, actually this guy's we need to back him because he's a serious manager and we he's actually strange because he's probably had more backing than Klopp. Well, I mean, he definitely has. I
think at that time though, you're like I said, like we were alluding to earlier, like City were dominating that time, and they looked very, very difficult to overcome. And I think because of City's downfall, there's not like there's a bit of a vacuum. And I think your owners were like, you know what, let's just try and fill that vacuum by.
I think that is an element of it as well. Is City 100%. Have dropped off. We'll obviously touch on City in a minute. It doesn't look like they're going to improve much this season.
It's on the way out next year. There's a sort of like dynasty ending there.
It very much feels like we are building the squad for the next kind of domination of the league. And also one thing that is worth mentioning, just quickly before I do touch on incomes and outgoings. What we have to remember is Salah and Van Dijk leave in 2 years. We know that as a fact now.
I think so.
there's definitely an element here of squad building, preparing for that moment. So obviously, when Salah goes, we've got Isak and Wirtz, who are already world class players that are. It's not going to feel like he's not there, but do you know what I mean? We've already got the world class replacements for a Salah type player, and I think the Guehi deal that didn't go through was going to kind of be the Virgil. When Virgil goes, he's going to be the leader in the team. He's going to be kind of the dominating centre back.
And he plays on that left side as well, doesn't he? Left centre back, even though he's a right footer. So no, I agree. And I think as well, not only that, like preparing for them leaving, but maximising what you can do with them still here, like Champions Leagues. Can you win another league or two?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're giving them the squad around them to try and achieve it. So very interesting move by the obviously Fenway and the higher ups at your team.
Yeah, completely agree. But to run through the outgoings now, so we sold Diaz for. This is all in euros, so 70 million euros. Nunez, who actually was with add-ons, is 56.6 million pounds. But they are add-ons, so I think it's like 48 million with add-ons.
Still, that is incredible. That's like Chelsea Jackson level kind of wow.
Yeah, how they got this. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. Quansah, obviously 35 million. Ben Doak, who we spoke about earlier in the video, for 25 million. Kelleher 18. Tyler Morton went for 15. Trent obviously went for 10, and then obviously Nat Phillips was just a £3 million deal. So we've made about 200. Oh, and obviously what we have to take into account is Harvey Elliott, who obviously went on loan today with an obligation to buy.
With the obligation, though, isn't it, I believe? So
with obligation at 35. So if you count that, then that's about 250 million in terms of sales, which is needed to offset the 480 million pounds, euro, in terms of incoming. So that's on Alexander Isak, who obviously was through the door today, 125 million pounds. Wirtz, Ekatike, Kirkes, Frimpong, and Giovanni Leone. Yeah. As well as Mamadashvili obviously came in. People seem to think that this deal was a buy from last season that was a loan. It wasn't that. It was an obligated buy this year for the price of 29 million.
It's similar to what Chelsea did with Esteval. Like you set the transfer.
It's exactly the same as what Chelsea did with Esteval. But people for some reason think it was we bought them last season, but and loaned them out this season. That's not the case. So we paid for him this season. So obviously, and Mamadashvili as well. So, and just quickly before I do touch on the rankings, I just want to add, because I read this just before we started recording this, we made a £60 million profit last window. I think we made £60 million in terms of sales and only spent 10 million of it on Chiesa. So over 2 windows, it's about 100 million if you're counting Elliott's obligated buy that was spent on this.
Think about it that way, that's still a really fairly minimal. I know it sounds crazy, but minimal net spend for a team that's winning leagues.
I agree.
Pound for pound, Liverpool continue to absolutely impress in the transfer section of the way they run the club.
I agree.
From a neutral point of view, I mean, like you say, we've seen Arsenal outlay. I think it must be the highest net spend over the last 5 years since Arteta's been there. It's got to be the highest.
Arteta has now spent, I think it's $1 billion now, and he's spent more than Pep Guardiola has at City, and he's not won
Chelsea
anything.
Have spent more probably, but we've also recouped a good amount to offset that. Not completely, but a big old amount. So I'm sure net spend wise, Arsenal are just at the head.
Yeah, for sure. I think Arsenal are highest in terms of net spend. Maybe United are close, but and City are probably close as well. To be fair, but let's get on to the ranking. I'm pretty sure we're both just going to stick them right in S tier. I don't think you can buy Wirtz and Isak in the same window and have it anywhere below us, to be honest.
No, and it's very easy to say, well, Wirtz hasn't hit the ground running, and it kind of colours it somewhat, but everyone was going absolutely nuts about Wirtz when he signed. And I think he will come good. I think, obviously, without just trying to parrot the guys on Sky Sports and that, but he does seem to I think plays a little too deep as well. I think he also is just struggling with sometimes, just like the
potentially. I
amount
think
of
he's trying to
time
just
he
get
has
himself on the ball and get a feel for the league a little bit as well. What I will say is the second half against Arsenal, he was a lot better. And if you go and watch that game back, I think it'll be a sign of things to come with Florian Wirtz. There's no way this guy flops. You can tell already.
He might have had a couple of. He's got a lot of technical ability.
Yeah, you can tell he struggled mainly with physicality. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he went off with like 3 different cramps in the game at 85 minutes, I think it was, against Arsenal. So you can tell there's a physical side of it he's got to adjust to. But I'm pretty sure when he does, it's going to be pretty hard to stop that attacking line.
Yeah. When you marry the technical ability he has with the physicality, which will come, he's going to be an absolute baller. I think anyone that knows football knows that. I think it's just waiting. It's a waiting game on that. But like I say, I think before the games, every single person, without question, was saying Wirtz was an unbelievable transfer. And I think 2-3 games of just adjustment shouldn't.
Oh yeah, you can't. And you have to think as well. We didn't really play any of those. We didn't play any Prem teams in pre-season. We played like Milan and some Japanese teams, and we didn't really play anyone that's going to kind of emulate what it's going to be like in the Premier League. So it's hard to say pre-season kind of helps with that, because it's
you have to take it with a pinch.
You're not getting them used to the physical side of it. But yeah, I think, to be honest, you're gonna, as like I said, in the end of the Arsenal, or the second half of the Arsenal game, you've seen a lot more of the player that he will be. And what you also have to think about now is Isak's in, so it's only going to help him with having even better players around him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, not only he's got to get used to the team, but there's all sorts of new players around him. So it's just a whole overall team cohesion as much as it is a Wirtz thing. So
yeah, I agree.
I think once they've learned the attacking patterns of play and all these things, he will slot in a lot better and start coming in with goals and assists. But anyways, enough on Wirtz. I think you were just about to list the rest of them, and then we'll kind of cover the overall.
I've already listed them.
They all, yeah.
I've just done
from
my
a neutral
ranking.
point of view, obviously goes without saying to win the league, and then I would say, I know Arsenal made a push for it towards the end, but I think pulling Isak in still just about tickles you over as the best of the window on paper.
I think if we'd have got Gay in as well, which
I think if we'd have got Gay, I think it would have been like Liverpool in S tier, Arsenal and Chelsea in like.
It probably would have pushed them down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair on Arsenal because, to be fair, they've done a great stab at it. But saying that, I think when you pull Haaland's up there, but I mean, when you pull arguably,
I think as an overall player, Isak is better than Haaland, but as a goal scorer and an out-and-out striker,
the thing that I always remember about Isak is the assist he pulled out in recent seasons, where he runs down the left wing, goes down the byline with quick feet, and then puts in an unreal ball.
Yeah.
As much as I like Haaland, he's not that guy. Although Haaland's a better overall goal scorer, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I agree.
But like you say, overall, Isak's just an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, really, again, the price is what it is, but just looking at the quality, you've improved. Probably striker? You've probably improved
striker, cam, left back,
right back. I don't know if you've improved. It's a hard one to say you've improved it, but you've kept it a familiar-ish quality, although for different attributes.
Yeah, and then obviously depth at centre back, goalkeeper.
Yeah. And the squad overall is deeper. So
and obviously, Ekatike as well. So yeah, let's move on to City though. It's not going to spend too much time on that one.
No. But I think we like to deep dive in on Liverpool, especially because we know you're a Liverpool man. So
yeah, that is true.
Who's next on our list? You say it's Man City. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one.
Do you know what? This is a weird one because at the start of the window, I quite liked some of the moves. I mean, Reinders and Shirky class, and then Ait Nouri as well. I think was a great buy, a shrewd buy.
Yeah.
And then Trafford. I thought Trafford was a weird one. I felt they could have left that one alone, especially considering what we know now as well. We're buying Donnarumma. It just feels like that was a strange deal to me.
No, I still don't know if that's gone through. I'm yet to see that go through. Let me just.
We're operating on the basis that it has, and then to be confirmed. But tonight, I mean, at the time we're recording, it's what 11:30, even later on Monday night after deadline.
Well, yeah, at the time of now, it's very close to midnight. the window has officially shut, even for
Spanish is midnight. Spanish is midnight, but that's the only difference.
Yeah, but I mean, even for the deals that had deal sheets in, so you get an extra 2 hours, that's closed, and we've still not really heard anything of that. So I'm pretty sure it has gone through. So we'll go on the basis that it has, but there is a possibility. Like I said, it's not been confirmed. So
that does change it for me. I think Donnarumma adds something to City quite heavily.
Yeah.
I think if they were to get that over the line, they'd go into. I think they go into an A tier for me potentially.
I think they're A either way, to be honest. Ryan,
the thing is, they go under the radar because the work that the other three on S tier have done, but
it's really tough because De Bruyne is gone.
Yeah, but I know it's tough to say, but he didn't really have a massive role last year, so I don't.
He didn't, but it's still De Bruyne.
It is.
Akanji's gone as well. Walker's gone. Grealish is gone.
Yeah, I think they're bit part players, although they're still class players.
No, I don't. You know, the more I look at that, though, I mean, they've improved, but I don't know if it's drastically. I'll be honest.
Strong B tier. It's a very strong B tier, if not a low A tier.
I was pretty certain that this was going to be an A tier coming into this video, but now I'm looking at this and who they've let go, and obviously knowing that De Bruyne's contract ran out, they've improved, but I don't think it's drastic. So I think we're both in agreement here. It's probably a B, probably a high B.
The B tiers, in my opinion. Okay,
yeah,
fair play.
I agree.
Fair play. And just to mention, they've also signed Naipan, who any Football Manager players will be very intrigued about. I've gone out on loan again, I think, is it Middlesbrough?
I want to say Middlesbrough, yeah.
I want to say Middlesbrough.
And I will be following them this season because of that guy, because he looks like a real player.
Him, yeah, 100%. From Rosenborg. However, let's move on to United. We've still got a few teams to cover. It's always an interesting one with United. Let me list the players they have bought, and then we'll go through that. So,
do you want to do? Sorry, I know you want to do buys, but I think outgoings we should do first. Yeah, but mainly because I think getting rid of Højlund, they've managed to recoup a lot of money from that. I think obligation was something like 45 million, yeah, something like that. Anthony, obviously, they've definitely not sold him for as much as they would have wanted to, 25 million.
They've lost something like 60 to 50 million.
However, they did manage to remove his loyalty bonus.
Yes.
And there's a 50% sell-on in that. I mean, I doubt it'll ever be sold for more than 15 million, so it's probably not going to be a lot.
I think it's only a 50% sell-on of the profit, by the way, which just a point to mention.
In that case, Jesus, that's a bad deal then. That's a really bad deal. Yeah, however, they have managed to get him out, and they needed to get him out. So that in that sense, it's a good deal. Garnacho, they sold for massively less than what I think they could have got 20 million more, in my opinion, for Garnacho.
I think a year ago, before any of the drama, Garnacho goes.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Is that value player? But because of the way they've treated him and kind of how that relationship's gone on, they've lost a significant amount of value out of him. And they've only got themselves to blame for that. That's not. I mean, obviously he is partly to blame because he has been a bit of an idiot.
Some of his antics, for sure, are unpalatable. I think the little thing with the Villa shirt with Rashford, him being caught with laughing gas, I believe was pictured. All these type of things.
Bit of an idiot.
And obviously the brothers' interviews, stuff like that. But what I would say is, I think under the right management and looked after in the right way, there's a massive potential in that guy. Already good experience for his age. He's undoubtable quality. He's got talent.
Anyway, we spoke about him during Chelsea. So
no. But I just made the point to say, like, there is clearly an undervalue of what they've.
For sure, for sure.
And so so I think we'll go with that. But
just quickly as well, Lindelof's obviously left, so a lot of deadwood, and
Sancho obviously on loan as well. Sorry if you didn't cover that.
Yeah, Rashford and Sancho I didn't cover him for. So and obviously again, Johnny Evans retired and Christian Eriksen end of contract.
It's a weird one because they've managed to get rid of these so-called bomb squad players, but they've underperformed on almost in all of them, apart from maybe Højlund. But again, they didn't recoup the money, so
I agree.
It doesn't bode well for United. I think if you look at that, they bought Anthony for what, 80 mil, Sancho for what, 65, 70 for Højlund. So what's that? That's like 220 so far. And then who else was in that list? Sorry, Rashford obviously free and Garnacho free. But there's like what in value terms, what would have been like 350 million pounds of players, and they got 110 million.
Oh yeah, it's a bad one in terms of sales.
It's poor. It's so poor. But yeah, so for that reason, even though they've got in Šeško, Mbumo, Cunha, and Lemens, who I think was a terrible
Diego
buy,
Leon.
And Diego Leon, I still think that overall their window is, God, arguably a C tier, but I'm going to go for probably a B tier, maybe actually just a low B tier.
So for me, it's a bit different. We spoke about Lemens earlier when we were Instagram chatting, and initially I said I'd prefer to have had him over Emi Martinez, but then you made a fantastic point of what United need are big characters.
Yeah.
But leader type characters, not characters in the sense of Garnacho, who's obviously a big character in the wrong sense, but players that are not going to feel the pressure of playing for United or So I think in that sense, Emi Martinez would have been a better signing there.
Yeah. I mean, this kid Lemens is at one season as the first choice keeper. He's 23. He needs to go into a team where he can develop, and he's about to go into probably arguably the most pressurized football club in the world.
It's typical of United signing they've been making over recent years that just don't end up working because players can't handle the pressure of playing for
young players melt under that pressure. I mean, look at do you know Scott McTominay's, I think, in the Ballon d'Or votings after leaving United now.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But I actually don't think he underperformed at United either. I think he was just
wrong. No, he was okay, but he's gone on to another level, and that's the case with many players that leave United. They do tend to outperform, like Anthony when he left. Sancho didn't do amazing, but he did better. There's a clear trend of them, especially with younger players, not getting the best out of them. So I think it could be the case for Lemens as well, which is why I think they've missed a trick with Martinez, I'll be honest.
But yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I don't think they've really improved the keeper, is what I'm saying in all of that roundabout point.
Oh no, any keeper in the world is an improvement on Onana and Debender, so they have definitely improved, whether it's a big improvement or not.
It remains to be seen for me. I think we have a look at that, but in theory, on paper,
not for me.
I'll take your point.
But other than that, I think the signings have been good. To be honest, I think
the main guys, Cunha, Šeško, and Mbumo, certainly Mbumo and Cunha. They've looked really good. They're looking good already, but
they've looked really good. So I think overall they've improved, but not enough. They needed a better first team ready goalkeeper, in my opinion. Like
they needed a Martinez, and then for me, I think they needed a centre mid and probably even a centre back, but certainly a centre mid.
Yeah, I think so. I think a couple in each of those positions, to be honest, wouldn't have gone amiss. Especially considering they play three at the back.
It's definitely not an A. It's definitely not an S. It's certainly a low B. I think even.
I think I would.
I think you put them behind City, but I think honestly, like for me, they could go low B tier.
I'm going to put them.
Not auto as well makes me even more annoyed about it and want me to put them in lower. It's just purely for the fact that they've bought. Like a cam, or like I suppose two cams, or Mbumo is going to play on the right side. They already had Mount and Fernandes and Diallo, etc. So they're not really positions they massively needed. I think striker, fair enough, but they've just the squad composition.
Yeah, from that side of it, for sure.
Strange.
From that side of it, yeah, for sure. They definitely needed other positions more. I think they could have got away with getting one less attacking midfielder, putting Bruno there in his right position and getting a midfielder in, a proper centre midfielder. But
100%.
You still can't complain at the quality of players they bought in, so it's kind of one of them.
No. I think we go. I think I'm comfortable with where they put them, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so.
I think with that said, Newcastle, the next big one comes up. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so we'll quickly reel off. They've not really sold anyone of note other than Isak, obviously. And I guess Sean Longstaff as well. Lloyd Kelly left, who I guess was just a profit-based deal. Same as Longstaff. And obviously Callum Wilson left on a free. And the only other one I think is of worth noting is probably Dubravka. But then incomings wise, they've obviously signed Walter Marder, who I would imagine is going to be the Isak out-and-out replacement. Sure. Ilanga, I would say a starting winger. They've improved in that position. Wissa. So if you count their strikers overall, excluding the fact that they've obviously let Isak go, I think as a pair they're probably slightly stronger than Isak and Callum Wilson, but mainly because Callum Wilson didn't really play last season. 100%. And then Jacob Ramsey, so an attacking midfielder coming from Aston Villa, great addition. Thiaw from AC Milan, again, something they needed. They didn't have enough centre-back depth, so they've covered that with that one. And Ramsdale, who's obviously going to challenge Nick Pope for the goalkeeper spot. And I think that was probably coming. Nick Pope, I think, was coming to the end of his glory days.
He's been good, but I think Ramsdale is a nice competition addition there. So
yeah, sure. I agree. I think overall,
I think they're a solid beat.
I think they've ended the window. I would put them probably in an A tier, to be honest. I think they really have had a good window, especially all things considered with the Isak saga.
Well, they've got Champions League, haven't they, again? So they needed to add depth. They were never going to replace Isak quality, but they brought in two, let's say, B tier strikers instead of an A and a D tier striker, let's say.
Yeah.
I think you could probably argue.
I think they've improved overall in every position. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some argument about striker, but I think overall, sure. And they've added some good quality in there. So low A is
I think if they'd have somehow kept Isak and still got Voltemada and Wissa in, it's probably an S tier.
One of the two, but yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
All right, happy with that. A tier.
Let's move on.
By the way, pulling it out of the bag.
Credit to them. I mean, they had a dreadful entire window, to be honest, until the last week or so. But yeah, let's move on to Forest.
By the way, it was just last thing. No, I don't think they've got any kind of sporting director. I think they've had Paul Mitchell leave.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell left, and I think
operators. Yeah, so
I think it might have been one of the owners actually that's been dealing with a lot of the. I know he dealt personally with some of the negotiations. Whether it was all of them or not, I think it might have just been the last week or so potentially. I don't know the ins and outs, but
either way, they've pulled it out of the bag. So fair play. And that takes us to Nottingham Forest, who will be playing Europa League this year, so bear that in mind.
Yeah. So do you want to quickly reel off outgoings first? Let's follow a trend, and then just because they've made quite a few outgoings as well.
Go through the outgoings, and I'll do the ins, if you would.
Okay. Yeah. So Elanga's gone, 60 million. Danilo went to Botafogo. They managed to get a good fee for him, 23 million euros. Sosa, Omar Bamadeli has gone to Strasbourg. Matt Turner's gone out. And a few of the there's a load of deadwood in here that I'm not even going to touch on, to be honest.
Sure. Well, I guess the main one would be like your Elanga, for example, is probably the main first team player.
Yeah, I'd say the only first team player they've lost is probably Elanga.
Incoming wise, Amari Hutchinson, good player. England under 21 international. And again, same as the next guy, James McAtee from City. I think this could end up being like another Cole Palmer type, not to the same level, but I think City have learned their lesson. I think they've got like buybacks and all sorts in there.
Yeah.
Callum Wendo and Douglas Luiz, who I really like. Obviously, I think he'll come in and do a good job in midfield.
I think you're going to be missing a few players there because there's been updated a lot because a lot of their deals have gone through.
And Ndoye, who's actually been playing okay. I think I might be missing one or two, but let me know.
Yeah, Bakwa from Strasbourg. I don't think you mentioned him. Savona from Juventus. John Victor. Zinchenko came in very last minute, by the way. I didn't even. There was no news if the deal sheet even went through for that one, so that was like a out of the blue one as well. That kind of happened. So yeah, Forest, they've kind of. Can you remember when they came back into the Prem and they just signed loads of players, and we didn't really kind of know what they were doing. It feels a little bit like that, but maybe with slightly more structure and quality.
Signed, what is it, like a good nearly like 10 players again, like a hell of a lot of players.
Yeah, they've signed a lot of players. I think the most notable ones, Dan and Doy. Obviously, we've seen him so far. He's already proved to be quite a good signing.
Douglas Luiz, I have to be honest. I think he's a good midfielder.
Douglas Luiz, another notable one. Zinchenko, I would probably say, is a notable one, just because obviously we know who Zinchenko is.
Hutchinson and McAtee, especially McAtee, I think are shrewd. Like younger players, a bit like Gibbs White when they bought him, developed him a little bit, and then they came really well. I think there's a good potential in both of those. So I think you could argue they're definitely stronger, to be honest. I think they've given themselves a lot more depth, ready for European football.
I agree.
think you could probably only really go beta here. Certainly stronger. Nothing.
I'm trying to decide because I think this could be an A.
I just think because of the profile, some of them being younger, some of them from other leagues, I don't think they're absolutely 1,000,000% stronger. I think losing Elanga probably just tops it off for me as a B.
Oh no, they're definitely stronger. There's no doubt.
Yeah, they are. But I think when you counter some of the good stuff they've done with the major loss of Elanga, I think it takes it from an A to a B for my money.
I'm thinking A here. So we're going to have to find a compromise. I'm willing to put them top of B, above City.
Would you put them above City?
I think so. Just again because City have let players go, and the players that have come in are probably, they're probably slightly better, but they're not massively better. Forest have only got rid of Elanga, and they've got 4 or 5 first team players in. Like I think in terms of a squad, I think Forest have improved more than City.
Top of B next to City, and I think we're happy with that. I think you could argue it, but I think we'll allow it. I think we'll allow that. I think I can see the logic, to be honest. So yeah, I just think with Donnarumma,
I'd be putting him low A if it was me. Just for anyone watching, I'm going low A. He's going B.
I know Jordan, if he watches this, one of my mates, Forest fan, he'll be happy with your assessment. But sorry, mate, I think I'm going with high B.
Friends.
Which is still good, to be fair. I mean,
you can't be good mates with a Forest fan when you've Derby County.
Hey, not by choice, by circumstance.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Let's move on to Sunderland. I'll read these ones. I think we both agree here that they've had an exceptional window. The only noticeable outgoings, really, Joe Bellingham obviously has gone to Dortmund. To be honest, I think that's a good deal for Sunderland. Get the Bellingham brothers away from your club if you can. Watson to Brighton. I think that's a big loss for them. I think there's potential in that guy, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But to touch on the incoming, so Habib Diarra. Obviously, we've already seen him. It looks a player.
Energetic, all-action midfielder. You need that in your Premier League midfield, in my opinion.
Yeah, you do. Simon Adingra, Enzo Lefebvre, who looks like a player as well.
Very good.
The fact they managed to get him is really good.
I did have worries about him. To be fair, looking at him in the Championship, but he seems to be making the step up pretty well.
Yeah, no, he looks a player. Brian Brobby, who was a deadline deal that was done today. I think we both agree that's a good deal for them.
Guiu, who's back at Chelsea now. Fair play.
They probably
he's a player. I think he'll do well.
They're probably coincidentally happy that Chelsea took Guiu back. Talby from Club Bruges, Siddiqui, obviously Granit Xhaka, who
world class not as in world class player, but in terms of what they needed. He's perfect for a promoted team.
100%. Nordi Mukiel, big strong centre back. Alderete
can play right back as well.
Yeah, Roofs from obviously is their keeper at the minute, and then one that you didn't think that came in that I had to tell you about just before we started recording, Bertrand Traore, and then there's a couple of other ones. Arthur Masuaku's came in,
as well, good.
And Geertruida on a loan as well. It's an A tier. It's 100%. It's probably high A as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd probably put it above Everton, to be honest.
I'm thinking that Newcastle are better than Everton as well, so I think it's probably in that order.
I think Sunderland remind me of Forest when they first come in the Prem. They've done some players have obviously got Prem experience, like Xhaka, Adingra. players like that, and then they've also got in some good, like topped it up with some good quality from abroad, some good value there.
I agree.
Diarra, Mukiela can play right back, centre back, good player. Geertruida,
really good.
Love him.
He's one of them as well. Geertruida is kind of multi-positional as well. I think he can play CDM as well. So it's good there.
Keeper looks decent. Rofs, Masuaku, just Prem left back, solid. And Bertrand Traore knows the league as well. I think, like I say, you couldn't have asked for much more as a
they've done everything they need to do. Yeah, it literally isn't. I mean, they've already got 2 wins out of 3 in the Premier League as well. This is before the likes of Brian Brobby coming in and Geertruida coming in, and so I think they've done enough to be. I think they'll stay up. I'm quite confident.
I think we said this prior to some of these deadline day transfers coming in, but
we did.
I played Sunderland. Honestly, whoever's doing their business and identifying targets and following them, plus with the money from the
just having the ambition as well. I think that's what clubs have missed coming up.
Come in now and they sort of see it as well. Let's just
parachute payments.
Let's just sort of try. Just basically get some of the money to put towards facilities, whatever it might be. But
to be honest, I think that's part of the problem with clubs going back down is just that they're happy just to take the parachute payments and
it's like they don't want to have a fist at it and try and stay up because they think it's too difficult, so they almost resign themselves to defeat already before they come in. But it's refreshing to see somebody like Sunderland come in and give it a good shot, as Leeds and Burnley have, to be fair. But I think
all 3 of them have. I think all 3 of them have.
Sunderland have made the best, in my opinion, of the signings.
Yeah, I agree. Just bigger names, really.
Bigger names, better quality, in my opinion. And I think they've got, I don't know how many that is, just a quick tally. Looks like they've done, 12 players, something like that, 11, 12 players.
So transfer market's not giving me a figure, but it's just a few. It's 10 or 12.
Yeah. Both agreed on high A tier for that one, which is nice to see a point of agreement. And that will take us to Spurs.
Tottenham. I'm pretty sure we know where these are going as well, to be honest.
To be fair, it was a bit of a weird one with this one. They made a few loan deals permanent, Danso and Tell. And then the Kudus came in a bit earlier, which I think was a really shrewd signing. There's exceptional quality in that player. And I think Frank will unlock that on a more consistent basis.
I agree.
And then Simmons under the nose of Chelsea. I don't think we wanted to push that towards the end. I think the money wise, we just couldn't do it.
I agree.
Balance the books, and Jackson wasn't a permanent at that point. An obligation, should I say? So fair play to Spurs, swooped in and got Simmons, who's an exceptional player. I was excited to have him at Chelsea, so I won't change my opinion now. I think he's still a very good player. And young as well, 22. Even though he's got a good amount of experience.
I thought he was a bit older than that.
Nah, mate, he's been around for a while, but he broke through.
Well experienced for his age.
So and then Joao Palhinha looks an absolute, just such a good player. I think we all liked him when he was here before. And seen just all the qualities that you know about the guy. Industrious.
Typical midfield destroyer, which is what they needed.
So and then obviously last one today surprised us with Kolo Muani.
Deadline day deal,
He was starting for France in the World Cup not long back, so he's clearly got pedigree. This guy, and I think he's obviously got good quality as well. I think I've seen quite a bit of the guy. I think he'll add something to the Premier League. Quite exciting. So, I think Spurs undoubtedly strengthened. I would probably give them high B tier myself. What are you thinking? They're definitely stronger. I think we can agree on that. They're not a C tier or anything like that.
I think the only thing I would have liked Spurs to do, other than what they've already done, they've got the striker in, Randall Kolo Muani. They've got a left-sided attacker in, Xavi Simons. They've got a right-sided attacker in Kudus, obviously, because they've already got Kulusevski that's going to play through the middle. Madison plays through the middle as well. So they've got those.
Can play there too. So
can Simmons, of course. They've got Palhinha in the CDM. To be honest, the only thing I was going to say that I think they needed was just an extra, midfielder. But looking at it, actually, I mean, you've got Palhinha, you've got Papsar, who's been unreal at the start of the season.
You've still got
Bentancur,
Bergval.
There's a few players in there for Tottenham, and actually, they probably could have got away with not having getting one in. And they have.
I don't know if they've sold or loaned out. Sorry, just
other than Heung-min Son, though.
No, really. they were going to loan out the midfielder that got some discipline issues to Turkey. What was his name?
Bissouma.
Bissouma, sorry, yeah.
Yves Bissouma.
I don't know whether that went through or not, but it's a shame. He was actually, he's a player in there, but I think his discipline is.
Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot. I think this is native, but personally,
yeah,
I think
it's a lot stronger, I think, than it was. Yeah, I don't think he can go anywhere else, to be honest.
Above Everton, or I think so. I'm almost tempted to push Everton down, but we'll see.
I don't think quite as good as Newcastle. Just about.
Yeah, I think they're about right where they are there.
Yeah.
Okay, last two then. We've got West Ham. I'll quickly reel these off for us.
Go ahead.
In terms of notable outgoings, obviously Kudus, who we just touched on, and Edson Alvarez. Other than that, not. In fact, actually, they've had a lot of the. So we've got Danny Ings who's gone. We've got Kof Sufal who's gone. Creswell who's gone. Mikel Antonio who's gone. Kurt Zuma who's gone. Fabianski who's gone. They had Evan Ferguson on loan last year, who's not come back, and same as Soler as well. And Emerson, the left back, has gone as well.
Yes.
So that's a lot of players to lose. But then on the incoming side, we've got Mateus Fernandes, so obviously the young attacking. I like him.
Midfielder.
Yeah, attacking midfielder. Yeah, young attacking midfielder. Southampton.
Todibo permanent, right?
Yep, Todibo, and then obviously the left back El Hadj Diouf, who we're all obviously keeping a close eye on this year. Obviously, yeah, I think people are talking about him being a really top player. Hermansen, the goalkeeper, is a weird one because before he played any games, you would have said that's a really good signing for them. He's obviously had a very rocky start to the season, to say the least. But on paper, I think that's a good signing, to be honest.
Young keepers, they are like that, inconsistent. You're never going to get the week to week.
Yeah, and he's only had, but he was really, really good for Leicester last year. So we'll see what comes of it.
Like you always say, and I think we agree. Is keepers that are in lower performing teams do tend to look better.
They do, yeah, they do.
It can be a bit of a trick to the eye, that one, I have to say.
You judge keepers by the shots they stop, and obviously if you're facing more, you're saving more.
Yeah.
And typically when you're sitting with a low block, the shots you face are a bit easier because you're not one-on-one and stuff 100%. Like that. So,
and just things like commanding the area, and just, the way you organise with the defence, not always as easy to read. So again, I'm sure it will come good, but you can't expect a young keeper like that to smash it from day one all the time.
No, so I agree. Other than that, Magassa, who's a young centre midfielder, energetic centre midfielder, which they were badly missing. They really were missing an energetic centre midfielder.
It was crying out for it, wasn't it? There's no legs in there.
Just no pace. Yeah, no legs, no pace in the team. I think that was their biggest problem, to be honest. Callum Wilson, who's obviously coming on a free, he's actually looked good, especially against Forest at the weekend. He obviously added a lot to the game. I think it was actually when he came on that they got the 3 goals, I think. I might be wrong in saying that.
He's still got a lot to offer.
I think when he's fit, he's a good player. We know what he can do. It's just his fitness issues, isn't it?
Walker Peters, like you said, energy and good.
Walker Peters. The one thing I'll say about this one, so I think it was when they played you actually, when you played Chelsea. He got battered for the whole game, but I think when Walker Peters came on, they did look a bit better, and he just on the ball was. It's a lot better than Wan-Bissaka.
Oh mate, Wan-Bissaka is not that guy. He hasn't got the up and down energy and pace as much anymore.
A bit quicker as well, Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, he's much quicker. I think he's got a better delivery. He's just better at linking up with the attacking players.
I think he suits Graham Potter more as well because he's obviously more of an attacking coach, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. And I think he likes to play out. And I don't even think that Wan-Bissaka is that great at just playing out from the back, for example. I don't think technically or whatnot is that good. Although he's not a shocker, but I think he's had just a bad start to the year, which colours it slightly. But yeah, I think overall, and then of course the major domino, which really annoyed you today, was Igor
Julio. Yeah, obviously chose West Ham. There's
shocker.
Talks that he failed a medical at Palace. There's also talks that he just wanted to go to West Ham. Who knows? Anyway, it stopped going to Liverpool, so that's a little bit annoying. We'll see what he is like at West Ham.
Judging them across the board, though, I think we can both agree. Until last week, it would have been an F tier. I think they've managed to pull it probably round to somewhere around the C tier for me. Low C tier, just above Fulham potentially, maybe.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think so. I'm happy to put them there. Actually, I think they've probably been better than Villa as well, to be honest. I think so. Last one, Wolves. Yeah, this is a weird one. I think this might be this could be the worst of this. This might be the only easier one, but we'll quickly run through. I'll do outgoings. You can just quickly do the incomings.
Go ahead, far away.
So obviously Cunha, the big one that's gone to United. To be honest, I think the fee for him could potentially have been more, but obviously I know he had a release clause, so there's not much you can do about that.
Exactly.
Ait-Nouri, again, I think he could probably have gone for a bit more. I think he's one of the top left backs. He went for 30 odd million. Fabio Silva's gone to Dortmund. Gonçalo Guedes to Sociedad. Semedo's left. Sarabia's left. And then
they've lost a lot of quality.
Doyle is gone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to just quickly touch on the incomings.
So I think they confirmed the obligation for Brun Larsen, striker. And then they've got in Aro Kadare, Lopez, Krejci, Arias, actually, who looks good in the Club World Cup, I'll be honest, from, I think, Fluminense, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to absolutely butcher this, but Chachua and Wolfer. So, again, what we say with Wolves is half these could do very well, but they've not got...
You just don't know.
They haven't really got a lot, and I won't pretend to have said I've watched or seen much of them, besides John Arias, to be fair, who does look a decent player, to be honest.
I think they've definitely got worse. There's no debate on that one. I think Wolf has looked all right, but yeah, I mean the big one there is Larson. He was there last season anyway.
Yeah.
I think this is an E tier. I think this is the only one that goes an E tier, to be honest.
I think so too. I don't think there's much in the way of recognisable quality there. They've lost a good number of decent players. Some of them obviously a bit over the hill, but at least you know what you're going to get from them. Yeah, Wolves could struggle big time this year, I'll be honest.
I agree.
For me, I think it seems fairly harsh because I thought Brentford might join them until they did some recent bits, and Palace the same, but it looks like Wolves are the only ones who didn't dig themselves out of a hole for me.
Yeah, I think they could be in big trouble this year.
Yeah,
I really
massively.
do.
If it wasn't for the manager, I think is actually okay, to be fair to him. I think there'd be a shoe-in to go out. I think they'll be in a fight. With Brentford might be down in there in that fight as well, which we both said.
Yeah.
And some of the newly promoted teams are looking real serious. So it's a tough one. I think, certainly an E tier, and it doesn't bode well for them at all this year.
I agree. Is there any of these you want to move around?
No, I think we have been adjusting them as we go. I think this is a decent place to leave it, unless there's any that you're looking at doing, but just quickly observing it there.
I think people might feel that we've been a bit harsh on City and maybe a bit too lenient with Everton, but I think from what I've seen at the start of the season, it's kind of hard to debate personally.
For me, like City, they've still got Mateus Nunes playing at right back, which does my head in. They just don't look good in their games. I know there's time to come. I actually predicted them to win the league, but I think the reason that put them a bit lower, just some of the players they've lost, like you say, even Gundogan went out today, obviously De Bruyne, these are all players that are older, but I think when you look at what Arsenal and City are doing, Arsenal and Chelsea and Liverpool, I think they're a step behind that, a couple of steps behind that even.
I agree.
I think you could arguably move them up to A tier, but
I can't remember. Did we judge City on if they signed Donnarumma or not? Because to be honest, I didn't.
See, for me, I did argue to put them in A because of Donnarumma, but I think you could.
Oh, he might just claw them into it.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be too bad an idea. Everton have done well, but I think City could probably just drop in there above Everton.
I think so.
Spurs.
I think so. I think I'm happy with that list, to be honest.
Spurs have done all right, to be fair. Spurs have done well. They strengthened good areas.
I'm tempted to put Sunderland lower than Newcastle, potentially.
I think you could possibly argue that, to be fair. I think we just we're really rooting for one of the newly promoted to do well. I think that's part of the reason why we're stoked.
I like Sunderland as a club as well. I don't know what it is.
Passionate fans, big stadium.
I just think they're too big to not be in the Prem.
Yeah. So I think that's fair. For the same reasons you'd say about Newcastle, big team, obviously that same area of the country, but just passionate fans up there. And they're
50,000 seat stadium. So it's like
mate, massive.
Can't have that in the Championship.
Nah. So for me, I think that looks a good list. I think obviously it'd be interesting to see how these are looking as time and get time on the grass from these players.
Yeah, of course.
In or out. But I think, like we said earlier, you can't judge too much, especially on some of these players from different leagues, until they start putting their boots on the grass and giving us a bit of obviously game time to review. But interesting times. We always love transfer deadline, hence the reason we're still up at 12:30 at night making this video. Really, but
I shouldn't admit to this on camera, but I'll be honest, I got very little work done today. So obviously, the way I'm sat here, I'm at my desk. I've got a TV up here on the wall. Obviously, because you've been here. And it's obviously had Sky Sports on all day, and it's just like I've been like this.
Yeah, mate, I've had my headphone in at work, just doing my work away with deadline day on.
But do you know what I will say before we close? Deadline day is not the same. I remember when we were kids, when we still lived at home with Mum, and
Jim White and the yellow tie.
We had Jim White in the yellow tie, and it always seemed like Sky Sports was for us back then. Sky Sports was like the reliable. If it's not Sky Sports, it's not true. And obviously the rise of Romano's and Ornsteins, and they're always. I think there's a meme now actually. As Sky Sports News are known as slow sports news because they're so slow on all the deals.
Coleridge loves his slow sports news references.
So yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't know that because I don't watch Coleridge, but
there you go.
But yeah, so it felt a bit weird because I was getting notifications through on my phone on Twitter about stuff that was happening. I was like, oh, for God's sake, I'm behind on the Sky Sports News on. But I will say, I think I'm pretty sure I'm saying last season they didn't do the where they put the reporters at the stadiums. I'm pretty sure
the phallic.
The dildo.
I didn't know if I was going to come out and say that, but the scandal, the phallic scandal.
But that was nice to have again, and it's obviously nice to see the players come through the in and out of the training grounds and stuff like that.
That's what's good. That's what's good about Sky. You get to see a little more of just actually what's happening on the ground, which is quite nice. Because sometimes all this is quite far removed from any kind of reality, but you see it happening. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
For sure. But mate, it's been a class video. I mean, a bit longer than we probably anticipated, but you know what? I don't even mind. It's always fun to wrap up on deadline day, and now we're getting to the meat of the season, really, which I think we're both.
Yep.
As much as it was a good window, I'm fairly exhausted by transfers now. To be fair.
Yeah, me too.
To, international break, not. Hey, you just get through it all. You're ready to see some season develop, and an international break swings around.
But, to be honest, it probably is a good time for an international break. But yeah, it's just boring, isn't it?
But I'm quite excited about Tuchel's England, even though you're not. But anyways, for another video, for today, it's been plenty long enough. So if you're still here, we really do appreciate it. Obviously, work in progress, but it's really, really well appreciated by myself, and I'm sure Jamie echoes that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So all that's left to say is, as always, comments. What do you think about the rankings? Anyone disagree with where we put your team or any of the other teams for that matter? And if so, don't just put you disagree. I want to hear why. Why do you disagree?
Yeah, give us your thoughts.
Make a point to come back to.
If we've been stupid, let us know.
We probably have. It's 12:30. But anyways, have a good week, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.